Pray that you might bless this council and our city, continue to keep us safe from harm and from destruction. And we ask that your blessings would be upon all the workers and other helpers that go about their jobs each day to make our lives a little easier and to protect us and take care of us when harm does come our way. So just continue to work in this chamber and help those who make the decisions to be granted your wisdom and guidance. I pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, Jeff.
Let's do the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call this meeting to order. Do we have any announcements or recognitions? Anybody?
I have a letter that my better half has asked me to read. Dear Nate City Council and City Staff, on behalf of the McCook Chamber of Commerce, I would like to extend our sincerest thanks to the City of McCook and its dedicated staff for your incredible support in making Noel on Norris such a successful event this year. Your hard work and collaboration were instrumental in bringing the community together and creating an enjoyable experience for all who attended. From the logistical planning to the hands-on support throughout the event, we truly couldn't have done this without you. Your commitment to the success of this holiday celebration reflects the spirit of community and partnership that makes McCook so special. We are deeply grateful for the city's involvement in ensuring that Noel on Norris was a memorable event for everyone. We had record numbers this year from the parade entries and participants to attendees. It's because of your support that we're able to host such beloved events, which brings joy to both residents and visitors alike. Thank you again for everything you did to make Noel on Norris a shining success. We look forward to continuing our work together to make McCook an even better place to live and celebrate in the future. Warm regards, Sarah Schneider, Director, McCook Chamber of Commerce. Then it says, P.S. My husband is so handsome, I cannot believe how lucky I am. He's so understanding, caring, and strong. She makes it married? Does
Thank you, Sarah, for all the great work you did. That was wonderful. Everybody really enjoyed it. Okay, next item is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is approved on one motion. Any item listed on the consent agenda may, by the request of any single council member or public in attendance, be considered as a separate item under the regular agenda. Council members, do you have anything to pull?
I don't, Your Honor, no.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Staff? No? Okay, anybody in the public? Okay.
On the consent agenda, I'll make a motion that we accept items A through Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Everybody in favor vote yea, opposed nay. Oh, any discussion, anybody? Sorry, I got it.
Yes. 4 votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Okay. The regular agenda, a presentation from Amanda regarding a potential McCook Economic Development Corporation workforce housing development on property owned by the City of McCook, said parcel identified as parcel ID number 000894200 at the intersection of East C Street and East 11th Street. Amanda?
Well, so as we're wrapping up
with the projects that we have ongoing right now. I obviously have been planning for 2025, what's next. And as you can see, my time of planning is going to be cut short by a little bit. So I have been working on this for a few months and having some conversations and just trying to figure out kind of what our next point of need is for housing in the community. And I really wanted to look at, you know, where are we not utilizing our existing resources in McCook? And this kind of led me down a path of looking for areas in the community that I felt were developable without us having to look at annexation or potentially putting in infrastructure. So over off of East 11th and C Street, there is an area of the community that has not been developed. It's under city ownership. To my understanding, it was donated to the city several years ago, kind of for the city to do with as they felt benefited the community. So I would like to propose potential that this area would be a great area for some housing development for McCook. My kind of target goal with this area, and I have had conversations with developers and contractors who are interested in this project, is for a home that would be kind of like a stepping stone for somebody to invest in and put some equity into their own project. So hoping to meet a price point of that, you know, $200,000 to $225,000 of a sales price. Area, you know, platting the lots so that people could put up a garage in the future if they wanted to, could add an addition to their home in the future if they wanted to. Really kind of looking at what did we do in the 50s and 60s when we had a population boom, and what do those houses look like in McCook, which if you look at a lot of those, they're really simple roof lines, easy to tie into. People have invested in them with additions, they've added detached garages. And those are great family homes now for the community that are selling at, you know, around that price point. And they were probably put in for a quarter of that when they were built. So it's my understanding that due to the City of McCook ordinances, the city doesn't really have the authority to just donate land. And so we have talked through the process of what does that look like. And is there the potential for, you know, if it is being geared towards a specific project such as workforce housing, can that land be utilized for that? Especially in this instance where the land was donated to the city. And so that is kind of why I'm coming to the board tonight, or the council tonight, is because I want to put this on your radar and have you think about it as we're speaking with the developers and looking at what it is our costs that we would have in. So like I mentioned, there is infrastructure there. There's water and sewer that run in both East 11th and East 10th Street. There's power right there, but the power would need to be moved and buried to make it appealing for a neighborhood at that point. You know, since it's been undeveloped, it's all along the street side. And I've already had conversations with MPBD just to understand what it is from their perspective they would want done to that area. And then there's obviously going to be some drainage that would need to be addressed for that area too. It's a little bit low lying from East 11th, and we would want to make sure that we wouldn't affect any of the surrounding neighbors or cause any issues there, where we are close to the creek technically, but it is not in a floodplain. I'll try to think of anything additional. You know, I think this is just a really good opportunity for us to invest in an area that, you know, right now is not on the property tax rolls. City staff are happy to maintain it. It's a large grass area, so they are mowing it periodically throughout the mowing season. So I think it would be a really good way to utilize what we already have on hand. And, you know, I think that's, as Nebraskans, what we are really good at is utilizing what we already have and not looking outside and reinventing the wheel. So, yeah. Another, I guess, key point I will mention. So one of the developers that is very interested in this is a modular home manufacturer. And so this is a really accessible area as well. So that makes it very inviting for somebody like that. You know, you're right off of the highway a block. East 11th is a wide street. You don't have any utilities going across there. So from an access standpoint, it is really a really friendly area for something like that, if that is the direction that somebody would go with it.
You're talking about something like what you did up on West 9th Street?
It would probably be a little bit more simplified than that.
Okay.
So what we have looked at is more so livable square footage. So there may or may not be an attached garage, just depending upon where price per square foot comes in at. Probably like an attached carport or a single car attached garage is what we're looking at. And it would be, yes, on an unfinished basement is the goal, kind of similar to the Wardcraft house, but trying to create something that's appealing, doesn't look like a manufactured home, or a modular home, and but allows somebody, like I said, to tie in and add that equity in the future that they can, and then hopefully hit that lower price point, because we feel that's something that we're definitely lacking in the community. We feel with North Point, and then the Parkview addition, we've kind of hit, a level there that we were in need of, and so now we need to look at, what else, based upon our housing study, are we lacking in the community.
So Amanda, how many houses do we think we could put there?
So when I have laid it out, what I think we can fit is about 8 lots.
8 lots.
Ultimately, that will come down to, us probably working in conjunction with Miller and Associates, but what I'm proposing would be approximately 75-foot wide lots by 120-foot depth, and that would allow for a utility easement down the middle of those, so that 120-foot depth is not factoring in that utility easement between those lots. If we were to do an alley, that would minimize those lots slightly, and it would be a little bit awkward because we'd have to have an outlet, we would have an L-shaped alley at the end. So I think we could probably do something really similar to what we have done at the Parkview addition and just have the utility easement for utility access down the center and not have to worry about an alley.
So where do we go from here, Dee?
We've been talking about this for a while, probably a couple of months, I think, and Charlie and I know Kyle, Tara, Nate, and I were part of the conversations. Nate's actually done a little bit of research, talked to other communities. Charlie and Amanda and I, we got a phone call as well with Craig Bennett to kind of see what Kearney does. I think that we can come up with some proposed language in our ordinance that would address specific needs as it relates to workforce housing, something that we need to make sure that we're providing here in our community. So I think we'll bring something back to the council as we kind of work through it, make sure that we've addressed all the legality to ensure that we don't have any issues on the backside. But that's kind of the way I would like to handle it, is come back to the council with proposed ordinance that will address the issues that we currently have with respect to real estate. Right now, anything that's over $5,000 in value, we have to have a market analysis. Anything over $100,000 has to be appraised. And there really is no provision for this type of situation where there's another entity that has the ability to improve a city-owned lot, build houses, get those lots put onto the tax roll, address the housing shortages that we know that we have per the 2022 housing study. It just makes a lot of sense, and so I think that'll be the next step, getting an ordinance in front of the council to take a look at. We can have more discussions too, but I know that Amanda, she's been working really hard on this. I know they've got a timeline they want us to try to make sure that we meet, and we'll do the best we can to do that.
We really just wanted to bring it to your attention that it's something that we're looking at, so that, yeah, you can consider it, the community can consider it, and then as we bring forth that, potential ordinance. This area also, the north property line of it would abut to, an existing redevelopment area, with some of the infrastructure improvements or pending the use of like a rural workforce housing TIF potentially. I think we would probably try to, come to the council and request that it maybe be designated as blighted and substandard, since it has not been improved upon in so many years. That would significantly help keep us in line to stay closer to that price point that we're trying to target.
We've got some experience now. Our heritage project that we did just north of the copper mill, east of the golf course, we kind of dipped our toes into the water, and I think we feel pretty comfortable moving forward with those types of new TIF projects. So that's something that we can definitely take a look at in the future. But the key at this point in time is to figure out, is it feasible to go ahead and transfer possession to the EDC, so that way the EDC then can go ahead and start their work as far as getting the lots subdivided out and then populated.
And we're also working in the interim, with, as these proposals from these interested parties come in, we're gonna work with our local realtors and have them review everything that we're proposing, so that we, at the price point we're proposing, so that we know for sure that we have a market for it. We feel strongly that we have a market for this based upon our housing study and the feedback and what we're seeing moving as we observe, the houses that are listing and selling. But we would still wanna work with them to be sure. We wouldn't want to do this project if it's something that we're like, these houses, it's good, we just want to get houses and then they don't sell. That's not our goal by any means. We want to make sure that we're putting out to the community what the community truly needs.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Okay, let's have our update regarding the sports complex.
Yeah, this is exciting. So I know that we announced, I think at the last council meeting, that the sports complex committee had selected, I guess the council actually had approved moving forward with Mammoth Sports Construction. We do have a contract from Mammoth Sports Construction that we are vetting right now. We will be bringing this to the council. I was just talking to our representative from Mammoth this afternoon, and we're going to go ahead, make sure that we're all comfortable with the language, bring it back to the council, have a special council meeting on December 23rd. Also at that same council meeting, that's going to be at noon. At that same council meeting, we're also going to obligate the remaining ARPA funds that haven't been obligated yet to put towards that design contract. So looking forward to that. We met with Mammoth, a number of their representatives. I think they had 4 representatives here, or 5 representatives here this past week. And just wanted to come in and kind of talk about what they do. Wanted to talk about our priorities were, make sure that they had an understanding of where the city of McCook is. We didn't call the sports complex committee. We didn't have enough time to actually do that. Plus, we wanted to make sure that we got them in and out. We had some obligations and they had some obligations. So we'll be getting everybody back together again once we get the contract signed. But they are excited. They are very aggressive. I think that they are kind of looking at an aggressive timeline, which is very exciting for us. That also means that we have a lot of work to do. We're going to have to subdivide that property out. We're going to have to make sure that our concept is what we want it to be, and so it's going to take some additional discussion and conversation. I do think that you're going to see things move fairly quickly. There are some things that maybe they can do. They have the ability to do everything in-house, and so one of the things that the council is going to be asked to consider is the possibility of doing a design build, utilizing the source well concept that we've utilized with other projects and other purchases in the past. So we'll look more into that as we move forward. But this specific contract is just for the design portion. We haven't made any decisions on our end as far as recommendations to the council. Those will be decisions that the council will have to make here in the future. Trying to think of anything else. Can you think of anything, Terry and Kyle? I know Gene and Linda were there as well too. Any thoughts that you guys had from the meeting? They're excited.
It's exciting to have them so excited.
Yeah, they are
They're ready to
excited.
move forward.
You can
Yeah.
tell if they're excited. I get emails or phone calls from Troy pretty much on a daily basis, so.
Well, Troy's excited because he has a relationship.
That's Jake.
His
Jake,
grandparents used to live here, and so he has a tie to McCook, and so he's very glad that he could come back and be able to build this. You know, but they impressed me with their professionalism. They're excited about getting it, and they're ready to go, and they're talking about, you know, next year,
Yeah.
seeing something done up there.
Other things, we did have a good conversation with Brittany Piper from DED last week and just kind of went through and talked about the, what's the acronym for the grant? The RCRP grant. That's the 1.5. Yeah, the Red Hot Chili Pepper grant. We had a good conversation. You guys approved the contract with them, but there are some things that we had questions about as far as how do we move forward? Are we tied into the numbers and the projects that we had in our application? You know, is there some flexibility? And there is. So there's $1.5 million, $500,000 obviously will go to the inclusive playground, which I think, kind of as an aside, I think that they're ready to go. And then the remainder will go to the Barnett Park project and also to the sports complex project. But we have the ability to decide how we want to maneuver those funds to maximize the benefit, the recreational benefit for our community, which is exciting for us. So looking forward to working with DED on that. Thank you for approving the contract tonight. And then we're still awaiting word on the MIAP grant. David Hall assisted us with Miller and Associates on that grant application. I think we're supposed to hear on that sometime in December. That's the Municipal Infrastructure Aid Program grant. And we applied for the full amount. I don't think we'll probably get the full amount, but if we could receive some assistance for street and water extension, I think that'd be fantastic. I really think this project's going to be moving along really fast. Our priority to begin with is going to be the sports complex, but it's going to open up a lot of other avenues, whether it's on the commercial or residential side into the future. So that's what I've got.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is ordinance number 2024-3094, amending the City of McCook Code of Ordinances by revising section 90.33, dangerous dogs and/or hybrid animals prohibited, terms defined, section 90.36, dangerous dogs and/or hybrid animals, confiscation when costs, and section 90.45, impoundment of animals without immunization tags, disposition of impounded animals. I introduce ordinance number 2024-3094 by title and ask the clerk to please read that title.
You just did.
Okay.
I'll just add on to the end, to provide that this ordinance shall be made a part of the City of McCook Code of Ordinances, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing for the effective date and publication thereof.
Okay.
Ordinance number 2024-3094 then read by title, and I move to approve upon its third and final reading.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Okay. All those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
For votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Ordinance number 2024-3094 is declared lawfully passed and adopted upon publication as required by law. Now we have ordinance number 2024-3092, amending the City of McCook Code of Ordinances, chapter 52 entitled Water in Title V Departments, repealing section 52-28 unsafe connection, backflow hazard, and adding subchapter cross connection control, chapter 50 entitled Municipal Utilities in Title V Department, section 50.01 delinquent bill charges, and chapter 38 entitled Fee Schedule in Title III Administration, Appendix C, delinquent bill charges. I introduce ordinance number 2024-3092 by title and ask Leanne to say the same thing over again.
Okay, to provide this ordinance shall be made a part of the City of McCook Code of Ordinances, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing for the effective date of publication thereof.
Ordinance number 2024-3092 has been introduced, read by title, and I move to approve upon its first of 3 readings.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay. Here we go.
Just in time.
Just in time. We
So
need it.
we're basically, that 5228 is our old backflow ordinance, which was 1 page. It's like this much material. So we adopted the new one, which is 10 pages, gives us a lot better enforcement, better guidance on what we need to do to develop a better backflow program. So we're gonna be looking to, enforce a lot of different things as far as testing and basic installation of backflow preventers where they're needed and they're not. Eugene Witt is our meter guy. He's gonna head that up because he's most generally wherever the water meters are is the same area that the backflow preventer is. So he's gonna be able to start doing some inspections on that. We're gonna send him, get him licensed as a grade 6 operator, which is a backflow, so that he'll be able to do that stuff. And then the other part was just adding 4 o'clock to that ordinance as far as our deadline. That's all that main part was. It's on our bills, it's just not in the ordinance. So now, housekeeping stuff.
Housekeeping. Okay. Any questions about the housekeeping we're doing? Okay,
Good.
all right,
Good.
good, thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
For votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Council comments? I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody and continue celebrating throughout the year. We have a lot more going on yet, so get out there and enjoy all of it. Okay, I declare this meeting adjourned, there being no further business to come before the council. I declare it adjourned at 5:59 p.m.
Can I quick wish Kevin Hodson a happy birthday and Pat Farmer a late happy birthday?
Thank you.
Kevin, happy birthday.
You're so young.
Thank you.